We bring you the morning edition of MBC News with me, Upili Kaisa. Our top stories. The Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change appeals for the speedy completion of the Kolongo multipurpose dam to avoid overspending on the project. Police prosecutors challenged to be professional when discharging their duties. And African countries urged to make affordable housing a priority investment to drive sustainable urban development. And now the news in detail. The Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change has asked for the swift completion of the Kolongo multipurpose dam to avoid overspending on the project. The project, which has seen its costs more than double from 60 billion kwacha to 133 billion kwacha, is now scheduled for completion by June next year. Chairperson of the committee, Tiaone Henry, emphasized that allocating adequate resources for the implementation of the project would enable contractors to finalize the work on time and within budget. Details in this report by Trust Office.
The construction of the Kolongo multipurpose dam, which started in March 2023 and was expected to be completed in February 2026, has shown commendable progress, with both the dam and the water treatment site now at 80% completion rate. Central Region Water Board Acting Chief Executive Officer Bukawaya noted that the critical component requiring attention is the procurement and construction of a pipeline from the dam to Mponela and Madisi trading centers.
The total pipeline for this project, it's a total length of 47 kilometers. From here at the dam to Mponela. Currently, the pipeline that has been procured under the project is 16 kilometers. So we still have about 30 kilometers of pipeline that is yet to be procured for the project, which is significant at the moment.
Chairperson for the Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change, Tiaone Henry, expressed hope that the speedy completion of the project will create business opportunities for communities around the dam through both crop and fish farming.
It's quite a big project which is going to benefit almost 191,000 beneficiaries and almost close to 141,000 households having potable water. It's quite huge, so we are impressed as members of Parliament.
Once the project is complete, the Central Region Water Board is expected to pump 40 million litres of water per day from the dam to Madisi and Mponela, with nearly 5,000 households benefiting through irrigation facilities for crop production as well as fish farming. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government says it is ready to scale up its support for the aquaculture industry to boost the national economy and improve food security. Minister of Natural Resources Patricia Wiskesi made these remarks in Lilongwe during a special visit to the Lilongwe University of Agriculture. In Natural Resources, Luana Aquaculture Center of Excellence. Charles Wahara has more in this report.
During the visit, Wiskes noted that the Luana Aquaculture Center of Excellence is key in fish production in the country and therefore requires government support for academic research and consumption. She pointed out that fish production can earn Malawi foreign exchange, hence the need to empower the Center of Excellency with resources that can promote productivity and academic research.
The reason that we came here is actually to sit down and discuss with the team in terms of the support that they require from government, and we are very ready to provide all the necessary support that we can. If it means we have to introduce a tax waiver for the products that they are importing to ensure that we bring down the cost as government, we are very ready to do that. But where necessary, we are also ready to finance, whether from government coffers and from development cooperating coffers as well, development cooperating partners coffers as well, to ensure that we bring in the necessary support.
Luana Vice Chancellor Professor Emmanuel Kaunda commended the minister for the visit, saying government and academia work together along the lines of policy and research. Professor Kaunda also commended the government for its support in various fields, adding that increased support in aquaculture at Luwana will lead to higher fish production, noting that the institution currently produces 22 million quality juvenile fish.
If you look at countries that are doing well in aquaculture or in many sectors, government works very, very closely with academicians, with private sector. Government's role is to provide guidance, is to provide policy environment, is to support the initiative. Now, what we like about this is that government has an agenda for now. We've seen in the papers, they have advertised that they're going to erect 100 cages. 100 cages is no mean business. If we're going to be successful in that initiative, us as academicians and government must work very, very close together. Because why? They will need seed. They will need, we call them fingerlings, the small fish. And who is going to produce those fingerlings? You have seen the capacity which we have here. As of now, we can be able to produce 22 million seed, but not just seed, quality seed.
The Africa Center of Excellence in Aquaculture and Fishery Science at Luwana was established in 2016, funded by the World Bank Group, with the mission to produce skilled human resources in aquaculture and fisheries for Eastern and Southern Africa. Charles Wahara, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Malawi Police Service has confirmed the arrest of leader of opposition in Parliament, Simplex Chichola Banda, on Sunday morning. Chichola Banda handed himself to police following an arrest warrant granted by the Nkula Magistrate Court. National Police publicist Laoshin Tembo confirmed the arrest of Chichola but was unable to give further details of his arrest. Deputy Commissioner of Police for the Northern Region, Isaac Norman, has warned police prosecutors against corrupt practices in the line of duty. Speaking at the opening of a one-day training workshop in Mzuzu, Norman urged officers to maintain integrity when discharging their duties to ensure the fair administration of justice. Blessings Gonde reports.
According to Norman, police prosecutors are crucial in achieving conviction of perpetrators in court. He said this is why they organized a capacity-building workshop for the prosecutors in the Northern Region. He further emphasized the need for professionalism of prosecutors when discharging their duties.
When the case has been brought to the prosecutor, it has to be in line with a specific law. For example, if it is to do with theft, which section in the penal code is talking about a theft? If they do not draft it properly, that amounts to an acquittal or a discharge. So in order to avoid more...
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. The Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change appeals for the speedy completion of the Kolongo multipurpose dam to avoid overspending on the project. Police prosecutors challenged to be professional when discharging their duties. And African countries urged to make affordable housing a priority investment to drive sustainable urban development.
Something big is coming on NBC. Not what you've seen before. A new force is about to hit the road. Crafted for presence, engineered for power, designed to turn every head before it even arrives. You'll hear it before you see it. You'll feel it before you know it. This isn't just another launch. It's the beginning of advanced broadcasts. Unveiling soon on NBC. Stay ready.
Welcome back. Participants in the African Drone and Data Academy's Vice Chancellor's Junior Engineering Academy have described the training as an eye-opener, whereby secondary students are aware of types of programs that they can study beyond what is already known to them. Speaking at the end of a 5-day training that was provided by the Malawi University of Science and Technology, MUST, one of the participants, Adweni Mbwana from Dedza Islamic Girls Secondary School, said most students have limited knowledge on science subjects that are studied at the university, and such trainings would help them make good choices if oriented accordingly. She explains.
After participating in this, I hope to know much about engineering, and maybe sooner or later after I finish my school I can also become an engineer, and as well as encourage other people on becoming engineers as well. The thing that has impressed me is that there are a lot of engineers. I only thought there was only one type of engineer, which was mechanical engineering, but when I came here I learned about structural engineering, environmental engineering, and I actually know much about it.
African Drone and Data Academy's senior instructor at the university, Prince Mkango, said the sole purpose for the training was to introduce the students to engineering disciplines that are less known for better choices in their career. 60 students from Zomba, Blantyre, Machinga, Mwanza, and Chiradzulu attended the training, which is supported by UNICEF.
With low intake into the engineering subject or innovation, it means without science, without technology, there is no innovation. So if there is low intake of these young men into these programs, it means people won't be innovating. We won't have these children coming up with technologies that will change the way we do our everyday life. It could be agriculture, it could be our healthy deliveries, in all the fields that we actually do. So we need technology, we need innovation. That's why we are trying to encourage that we have high intake in this engineering sector.
Ministry of Youth and Sports has expressed its interest in boosting the creative industry by investing more in arts and culture. Director of Arts in the Ministry, Humphrey Mpondaminga, said this in Lilongwe during the launch of the Pabwalo Multipurpose Hall, a new house.
Computers go online and see what exactly these folk tales are all about.
Chief Executive Officer for the National Library Service, Abata Selemani, said the Pabwalo space will enable the institution to provide access to tangible knowledge, contributing to lifelong learning among young people.
We are losing knowledge which is tacit, intangible knowledge, which resides in the experiences of our culture. So we said maybe if we can create a space where people can express themselves, where people can perform, maybe through their folk songs, through their folk tales, our kids, they can also learn our tradition and our culture, and we can preserve it, and then that is going to contribute to long-term, lifelong learning.
The Pabwalo Multipurpose Space has been launched through a collaborative effort involving the National Library Service, the Malawi National Commission for UNESCO, Music Crossroads, and the Ray Foundation Limited. The facility has been designed to host cultural activities, including traditional storytelling, folk songs, and cultural exhibitions. Madalito Mhango, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Founder of music promotion company Entertainers Promotion, Jai Banda, has appealed to the corporate world in the country to support music promoters during music events. Speaking after hosting an Easter show in Mangochi, Banda said most music promoters quit the industry due to losses they incur after hosting music events.
In Malawi, there are very few people who support events like this. If you can note in the history of Malawi, those who have been supporting events, they do one show, two shows, two events, then they leave. Because most of them, when you do it single-handedly, the money which you invest in that, it doesn't come back. So what I'm appealing to the corporate world is that when we do these events, please support us, because without your support, things don't work out well. You know, sometimes let's do something for our country, because money is not the end of everything. You know, that they feel that they are losing, you know, in their businesses, but sometimes doing something for your country is good.
In international news, African countries are being called upon to make affordable housing a priority investment to drive sustainable urban development. The Executive Director of UN Habitat, Anna Claudia Rosabach, made the remarks at the Urban African Forum, which took place at Kenyan International Conference Center, KICC, in Nairobi. Telson Magomba with the report.
The forum aimed at addressing challenges in infrastructure access and socio-economic transformation among African nations. In her remarks, Executive Director of UN Habitat, Anna Claudia Rosbach, hinted on establishment of people-centered policies that are crucial in addressing Africa's urban challenges. She highlighted the importance of prioritizing affordable housing, transforming informal settlements, and addressing climate change.
Africa is the world's fastest urbanizing region, with cities growing at an average annual rate of 3.5%. This is a benchmark in human history. And by 2050, 6 out of 10 Africans will live in urban areas. 80% of Africa's population is going to be in cities. And over 60% of Africa's total population is under the age of 25. Urban areas are already generating nearly 60% of Africa's GDP. But at the same time, 60% of people are lacking adequate shelter.
Additionally, Kenyan President William Ruto emphasized the need for Africa to take charge in leveraging its resources and youth energy to drive transformation. Ruto described the provision of affordable housing for the continent as a fundamental right for all Africans.
You haven't seen the kind of impact that this has on real people. When I went to move the first batch of people who are living in a slum right here in Nairobi called Mukuru, a place where there is no toilet, a place where there is no road, there is no water, there is no electricity. For you to use the toilet, you have to pay. For them to move from that state to 10th floor of a building that has water, that has piped gas, that has electricity, that has a lift, that has a playground, that has a school, that has a hospital, that has street lighting. You don't know the kind of impact you make to those kind of people.
The forum was held under the theme Affordable Housing for All. Telson Magombo, MBC News.
And that item wraps up this edition of MBC News. But before we leave, here's a recap of our top stories. The Parliamentary Committee on Natural Resources and Climate Change appeals for the speedy completion of the Kolongo multipurpose dam to avoid overspending on the project. Police prosecutors challenged to be professional when discharging their duties. And African countries urged to make affordable housing a priority investment to drive sustainable urban development. You are with me, Obide Gaisa. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
program ya Woman Talk.
Kodi ndi bwino kuti kholo lizipanga interview kapena chichewa chodziwika bwino chakulilongwe kuno kumuzukuta mnyamata amene akufuna kuti akwatire mwana wawo?
Makolo akuyeneka kuti ayikepo nzeru ndithu pa chimene iye akufuna kuti asankhe.
Choyamba ndikuyenera ndimuziwe chimene iye akuchita. Mnyamatayo
ndi muzuku